Our protagonist had always dreamed of indulging in delicious food without the nagging worry of his health. Little did he know that fate had a far more extraordinary plan in store for him. In a twist of destiny, he found himself transported to another world, inhabiting the body of an invincible vampire. No weaknesses, no limits. He was now the mayor of a desolate village, a place yearning for revival. With the overwhelming power bestowed upon him and the peaceful dreams of his predecessor echoing in his mind, could he unite humans and vampires to rebuild this land? This is the tale of Sato Ryuto, the strongest vampire. In this world, vampires were not merely creatures of the night. They possessed the ability to regenerate, shapeshift, and wield powerful magic. They were immortal beings, feared by all. Yet, beneath their formidable exterior lay a myriad of vulnerabilities. Sunlight, garlic, holy ashes, the list was endless. One fateful day, a man stood before the towering figure of vampire, his voice trembling with fear. "Who are you? Why doesn't holy water affect you?" The vampire, with an air of mystery, replied, "Who am I?" Not long before this encounter, MC had been at home, poring over his disheartening test results. "I can't believe I failed," he muttered, collapsing into a chair. The weight of his mundane life pressed down on him, an underwhelming salary, the stress of work, and health issues creeping in with age. "When was the last time I savored something truly delicious? I just want to eat good food." Suddenly, a voice echoed in his mind. "He has found me, the one who desires strength." Startled, MC wondered about the strange voice. It urged him to open his eyes and awaken. When he finally did, he found himself in a dark cave, panic surging through him. "What is this? Where am I?" he shouted, his heart racing. The voice reassured him, "I am the one who will fulfill your wish." Grasping his head in confusion, MC cried out, "Who are you?" The voice revealed itself as Isekai'd, the vampire whose body he now inhabited. "I apologize for the abruptness, but time is of the essence. You must adapt to your new form." With a surge of adrenaline, MC attempted to run, only to be astounded by his newfound speed. He was moving as fast as a car. He leaped from the cave, bursting into the open air, and gasped at the brightness of the sun. "How bright!" he exclaimed, feeling the warmth envelop him. As he soared through the sky, he braced himself for impact, thinking it was time to say goodbye. But Isekai'd's voice echoed in his mind. "Do not underestimate the strength of a vampire's body." To his astonishment, he landed gracefully on the ground, unscathed. "This is just the beginning," Isekai'd continued, and suddenly, magnificent wings sprouted from MC's back. He leaped again, exhilaration coursing through him, and spotted a dragon soaring in the distance. "Is that a dragon?" he shouted in awe. With determination, he attempted to spread his wings, but they felt foreign and unyielding. As he plummeted back to the ground, he wondered aloud, can vampires really fall from such heights? "Look at your strong body," Isekai'd encouraged, a hint of pride in his voice. Isekai'd chuckled darkly. "Strong? Hardly. You'd be crushed beneath its weight." Panic surged through MC as he shouted, "Wings! How do I flap these wings?" Isekai'd's voice was calm yet firm. "Don't even attempt it yet. Your soul hasn't fully gained control over this body." As the ground rushed up to meet him, MC's heart raced. He mentally braced himself, whispering a silent goodbye to life. But just as he was about to hit the ground, Isekai'd's voice broke through the chaos. "You're still alive. Open your eyes." With a jolt, MC opened his eyes, standing up in disbelief. He stretched out his arms, marveling at his new form. "What just happened?" he asked, bewildered. Isekai'd explained, "I just demonstrated the vampire's ability to regenerate. This is the body you've always wanted. With it, you'll never fall ill." Crossing his arms in annoyance, MC replied, "You could have just told me that instead of putting me through a near-death experience." "I apologize," Isekai'd said, his tone sincere. MC sighed, "I shouldn't be angry, but let's avoid the extreme sports in the future, okay?" "Agreed," Isekai'd replied, a hint of relief in his voice. "Wait a minute," MC interjected, curiosity piqued. "Why did I become a vampire in the first place?" Isekai'd explained. "I summoned your soul using summoning magic and it occupied my body." MC raised his hand, eyes wide with surprise. "Am I the chosen hero?" Isekai'd shook his head. "Not quite. You just happened to be one of the first souls that matched my criteria." "What criteria?" MC asked, intrigued. Isekai'd began to list them. "You were one of those who stayed up late at night, rarely ate, and limited yourself to simple food. MC frowned, realizing Shezard was describing his own lifestyle. So you're saying I brought this on myself? I'm sorry to have dragged you into this because of my selfish desires, Shezard admitted. As an apology, I'll share everything about myself. Once I'm no longer in this body, you can do whatever you wish with it. Just pay close attention. Suddenly, the scene shifted, and MC found himself back in a memory. A girl raised her hand, smiling brightly. Welcome back, Shezard. He took her hand and she continued. You made a promise. They embraced tightly, her voice softening as she whispered, I love you. We'll be together forever. But time passed, and the atmosphere shifted. Shezard's true nature was revealed. A priest raised a cross, shouting, Filthy vampire! The girl's face crumpled in despair as she cried, Why didn't you tell me you were a vampire? Shezard's voice turned cold. I will not forgive you for spitting on my feelings. I will never forgive you. Tears streamed down MC's cheeks as he absorbed the pain of that memory. This is the one he loved, Shezard said, his tone heavy with regret. I know it's selfish, but can you grant my wish? I want humans and vampires to live in peace. With a human soul and a vampire body, MC realized he could make that dream a reality. He cried, feeling the weight of his sacrifice. He had gone so far, even willing to disappear forever, just to achieve this goal. Later that night, in a dark cave, a girl pressed herself against the wall, trembling as a pack of hungry wolves circled her. What do I do? She cried, fear gripping her heart. Meanwhile, MC sat on the cave floor, gnawing on raw meat beside the carcass of an animal he had hunted. I can eat raw meat, he mused, but cooked is definitely tastier. He chuckled to himself, realizing he wouldn't starve anytime soon. 3 weeks had passed since MC's reincarnation, and he had begun to adapt to a world brimming with magic and monsters. As he bit into a piece of meat, savoring the flavor, he mused, By the way, I can't return to my old world. Initially, the thought had upset him, but he quickly resigned himself to his new reality. To his surprise, he discovered that vampires didn't just drink blood. They could also enjoy meat, fruits, and vegetables. In this new body, he found he could even eat raw meat and hunt with ease. A smile spread across his face as he spread his arms wide, embracing his transformation. No longer was he trapped in the body of a depressed adult, burdened by the stresses of work and life. He was free from those worries, liberated from the constraints of a strict diet. He reveled in his perfect body. With his hands clasped near his face, he silently thanked Shezard for everything. Yet, a pressing thought lingered in his mind. How could he reconcile humans and vampires? Closing his eyes, he grasped his head in frustration. As he delved into Shezard's memories, he learned that the relationship between humans and vampires was far from harmonious. People viewed vampires as predators, and their fear was understandable. In a fit of exasperation, he spun around the floor, clutching his head and screaming, How can I possibly achieve peace between humans and vampires in such a hostile environment? Another thought struck him, and he closed his eyes again, reflecting on the blandness of his current meals. Simple cooking won't change much, he lamented, pounding his fists on the floor in frustration. If only I had some spices. To acquire those spices, he realized he needed to forge friendships with humans. The tantalizing image of delicious food danced in his mind, and he stretched his hands forward, yearning for the flavors he craved. But then reality hit him. He couldn't satisfy his inner gourmet just yet. Suddenly, he sensed something, a presence in the forest. Rising to his feet, he focused, realizing he had detected a person for the first time. I don't know what's happening, but I need to help, he declared, sprinting forward. With swift, precise strikes, he dispatched several wolves that had been lurking nearby, scattering their corpses in different directions. The remaining wolves fled in terror. As he surveyed the scene, he raised his hand, acknowledging, I might have overdone it. Turning his attention to a girl who stood nearby, he wondered, Did I scare her? Surprisingly, she seems calm. He approached her cautiously. What happened? Are you lost? My name is Eerie, she replied, her voice steady. I need your help. MC regarded her with curiosity as they began to walk toward the exit. Aren't you afraid of me? Haven't you heard what people say about vampires like me? Eerie met his gaze with unwavering confidence. I know everything. I came to you specifically for help. She pointed toward a distant fire. The village is under attack by bandits. She handed him a handful of coins, her eyes pleading. Please help me. In exchange, I'll give you this money, and I'll even offer my body. I'm willing to pay with my blood. MC was taken aback, thinking, is this girl really willing to go that far? A smile crept across his face as he revealed his fangs. You're serious, huh? Ready to give all your blood? But honestly, I don't need it all. Just a glass would suffice. Irie raised an eyebrow, surprised. A vampire who doesn't need blood? You're strange. Just tired of the same taste, he admitted, a hint of honesty in his voice. But to be fair, I would like something tastier. Definitely strange, she affirmed, shaking her head. All right, MC said, determination settling in. I'll go to the village and help. He thought to himself, this is a perfect opportunity. If I save them, I can ask for salt. They won't hate their savior, even if he is a vampire. Plus, I must fulfill Shezard's last wishes. Extending his hand to Irie, he said, let's go. We have work to do. Meanwhile, chaos reigned in the village. Robbers set houses ablaze, their torches illuminating the night as they slaughtered the terrified residents. People fled in every direction, their screams echoing through the air. One desperate villager, trying to evade capture, shouted for help. Don't come any closer. A robber brandishing a torch bellowed, kill the old and the men, take the women alive. In a brutal display of power, he struck a man in the back with his sword. The man screamed in agony and collapsed to the ground. A woman, clutching her child tightly, turned back in horror. Darling, she cried, her voice filled with dread. The robber, foot planted on the man's back, sneered, is this your husband? If you try to run, I'll kill him. Don't worry about me, the man shouted, desperation lacing his voice. The robber pressed his boot down harder, silencing him with a cruel laugh. Shut up, he roared. The woman fell to her knees, fear etched on her face. Please, don't kill my husband. The robber's gaze roamed over her body, a twisted satisfaction in his voice. Stop running and take off your clothes. I want to taste you. She shook her head, trembling. No, please. If you resist, I'll kill him, he threatened, his eyes glinting with malice. Panic surged through her, and she cried, I'll do whatever you want. But before she could finish, the robber scrutinized her closely, a cruel smirk forming. You're so ugly, it's laughable. I'll kill your husband. Stop, she screamed, her voice breaking. What did you expect? He taunted. Suffering is part of married life. With a wicked swing of his sword, he continued. But don't worry, I'm kind. At least he won't see how his wife is defiled before he dies. Just then, a sudden movement interrupted the scene. The robber's head fell to the ground, severed from his body, as MC emerged from the shadows. Are you okay? He asked, leaning over the terrified woman. She looked up at him, eyes wide with fear. Monster, don't come near me. A villager nearby shouted, What the hell is that? Another added, Is that a vampire? A third gasped, Oh no, what is he doing here? Panic spread through the crowd as they screamed, Vampire, we must run. MC thought to himself, considering I'm a monster that feeds on human blood, their reaction is understandable. The robbers, momentarily stunned, turned to face him. One of them asked, Who is this? One of the locals? Another sneered, Did he decide to interfere? MC's mind raced. First, I need to deal with the bandits. He raised his hand, glancing at it with a mix of curiosity and determination. Oh right, I killed a man and didn't even blink. Surprisingly calm, he realized this was the influence of his vampire instincts. To a vampire, humans were prey, and he felt no remorse. One of the robbers, bewildered, stammered, What? Same. But before he could finish, MC concentrated, summoning clots of blood above him. With a wicked smile, he unleashed a blood rain attack. In an instant, drops of blood rained down, striking the thieves with terrifying precision. They tried to dodge, but the crimson droplets found their mark, leaving them reeling in fear. MC thought, I should avoid killing anyone else, otherwise, the locals will be too terrified. As the villagers heard the commotion, one exclaimed, What was that sound? Another replied, Someone used magic. A third suggested, Maybe it's the soldiers of the local lord. Bill turned to him, shaking his head. That's impossible. They've abandoned this territory. They let the bandits rob it. MC, taken aback, thought, What? They've given up on protecting their own. As he approached the villagers, one of them asked, Who are you? MC, he answered. But in that moment, he realized he couldn't use his previous name. Stop, Nick shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. Bill's eyes widened in shock. "Boss," he exclaimed, staring at MC, who was conjuring a bloody orb in his hand. "Magic speaks for itself. It's a vampire." Nick quickly doused his axe with holy water, a desperate measure. "Fortunately, we have holy water with us," he declared, swinging the weapon with all his might. "Low-ranking vampire, you shouldn't show off, you should die." The axe struck MC's neck, and he gasped, clutching at the wound as terrible sounds escaped his lips. Nick's eyes widened in horror. He won't recover from such a wound. MC, however, was unfazed. He felt the familiar sting of the holy water but grinned through the pain. "What an idiot," he thought. In a shocking display, his head flew off, landing beside Irie. Nick screamed in disbelief. Did he kill himself? But MC's head reattached itself, and he chuckled. "It was faster than bleeding out. I'll recover quicker than you think." Nick stumbled back, astonished. "Holy water didn't work? Who are you?" As he fell to the ground, MC approached him, recalling Shezard's words. "Listen carefully," he remembered. "The soul of a vampire has an elemental allegiance. The body is merely a vessel. The most crucial aspect of a vampire is its soul. Vampires perish from garlic, holy water, and crosses only because their souls are purified." MC pondered this revelation. But if a vampire's body houses a human soul, their weaknesses are nullified. He straightened, addressing Nick with newfound confidence. "Excuse me, but I am not a low-ranking vampire. I'm not even an ordinary vampire. I am a powerful being with a human soul. I am a vampire without weaknesses." Nick's eyes widened in realization. He's literally the strongest monster. He won't die no matter how we try to kill him, a strength that surpasses that of a human, coupled with colossal magical power. We have no chance. With a swift motion, MC unleashed the blood rain spell targeting Nick. "Thanks for the explanation," he said, a smirk on his face. He grabbed Nick by the belt and hurled him into the crowd. "Here, take him back." "Boss!" the robbers shouted, scrambling to catch Nick as they fled, their voices filled with panic. "He's invincible. We can't die here." As the dust settled, MC placed a hand on his face, deep in thought. "Interesting," he mused. "They traded this territory. They let the bandits rob it." He turned to the villagers, who were watching him with a mix of fear and hope. "So?" he asked, his voice steady. They began to plead for his help, desperation in their eyes. Eri stepped forward, pointing at MC. "Don't worry, he's the one I brought. There are rumors of a vampire living deep in the forest." The village elder looked at her in surprise. "But why?" MC interrupted, his tone firm. "We'll talk later. First, we need to heal the wounded." He spotted a woman cradling a wounded child, her face pale with fear. Kneeling beside them, he asked for forgiveness. "This is terrible. If we don't act quickly, he'll die from blood loss." He placed his hand over the child's wound, channeling his magic. "I can't use healing magic, so this may hurt," he warned, using wound closure magic to seal the injury. The woman gasped, relief flooding her features. "Thank you." "This isn't healing magic," MC explained, "so there will be a scar, but it's better than him dying." He turned to the villagers, his voice resolute. "If there are any more wounded, let me know. I'll help those who can still be saved." As he examined the crowd, he noticed a fire raging in the distance. "Next, we need to put out the fire. It would be best to destroy the burning houses to prevent the flames from spreading." The elder nodded, though hesitantly. "I don't mind, but—" MC cut him off, determination in his eyes. "Okay." Taking a deep breath, he exhaled with all his might, ready to confront the flames and protect the village. The flow of magic surged through the air, extinguishing the flames that had ravaged the village. A villager, still in shock, exclaimed, "What kind of person could defeat him? This is some kind of nonsense." As the smoke cleared, Irie approached MC, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she said earnestly. "No need to thank me," he replied, a hint of a smile on his lips. "You can help too." "Help?" she echoed, confusion flickering across her face. MC turned to the elder, who had been watching the exchange with keen interest. "Elder, I have a question. The bandits claimed they were allowed to attack the village. What do you think about that?" The elder sighed heavily. "I asked the Lord to deal with the bandits, but he did nothing. Large gangs like this should be exterminated by the army. We pay taxes to the Lord, and he is supposed to protect us." MC lowered his hand, his expression serious. "But the bandits attacked. This means your Lord has abandoned you." The elder's eyes widened in shock. "What do you mean?" "If this is true," MC continued, then your village will be attacked again. If you try to escape, it's unlikely you'll last long. You're doomed. MC took the elder by the shoulders, looking him in the eye. You're mistaken. I need normal food. The elder laughed heartily, listing off ingredients. You could start with spices, cinnamon, sugar, salt, MC asked, intrigued. The elder nodded, excitement creeping into his voice. I need to discuss this with the locals. MC spread his hands wide. Of course, I'll give them time to think. Eri stepped forward, her brow furrowed with concern. Why should you protect us at all? There are 2 reasons, MC answered. The first is that I need tasty food. She looked at him with disappointment, her expression hurt. How petty. Okay, what's the second reason? She pressed. Stop looking at me like that, he said, a hint of annoyance in his voice. The second reason is a promise I made to someone. He pulled a small book from his pocket, handing it to her. A world where vampires and humans coexist. He realized he could achieve both goals by protecting the village. Now you won't look at me with such disappointment. As they continued their conversation, Irie shook her head. You're so naive. You need to grow up. MC's frustration bubbled over. This isn't even my desire. It's another vampire's. That's impossible, she countered. Vampires have hunted humans all their lives. They can't coexist. Are you saying there's no chance? He asked, his voice tinged with hope. Let's see how things go. We'll try, she replied, her tone softening. How quickly your opinion changes, he remarked, a smirk playing on his lips. Ahead, they spotted a group of villagers engaged in a heated discussion. MC paused, glancing at Irie. Do you want to join them? She shook her head. I'm a stranger in this village. I don't even have the right to vote. Surprised, MC replied, but you want to save them. Am I the weird one here? Irie shot back. I don't want to hear anything from a vampire with such dreams. Just then, the elder approached them, his expression serious. Have they made a decision? MC asked. The elder nodded. They're asking you to protect them. They will obey you. MC smiled, a sense of purpose filling him. Great! I, Ritasato, will protect your village. I am the new lord of the village. He looked around, determination in his eyes. Now, we need to start rebuilding the village. First, they needed to clear away the rubble. MC suggested they collect wood from the forest, a practical first step toward coexistence between vampires and humans. With determination, he sprinted toward the trees, Irie trailing closely behind. Why are you following me? He asked, glancing back. The forest is dangerous. There are many monsters. As long as you're around, I feel safe, she replied, her voice steady. He raised an eyebrow. Aren't you afraid of me? Irie shrugged, a playful smile on her lips. How can I put it? That's just your character. MC's frustration bubbled over. What's wrong with my character? He shouted, exasperated. They soon reached a clearing in the forest, and MC paused. Okay, I'll go here. What are you going to do? Irie asked, curiosity piqued. Bringing his hand to his mouth, he bit his finger, then gestured for her to step back. Move away a little. As blood began to flow from his finger, he held a book in his other hand, his voice rising with power. Hear my call. Answer it. Go beyond the boundaries of this world. Eri watched in awe as a brilliant light erupted from the ground, and strange creatures began to emerge from the pool of blood. MC introduced them with pride. This is Colorin, the bat, Morgan, the mole, and Gus, the butterfly. Master Ruto, they exclaimed in unison, eagerly awaiting his command. Eri blinked in surprise. What is this? MC grinned, revealing his fangs. These are my minions. He noticed Morgan rolling something in the dirt. What do you have there, Morgan? Potatoes, the mole replied excitedly. Very tasty if fried. MC's eyes sparkled with inspiration. Clearly they have food problems in the village. We'll start by growing potatoes in the fields, and later we can expand to other vegetables. Eri's eyes widened in disbelief. Will there really be a lot of food? Of course, MC said, his smile broadening. Anything is possible. The minions cheered. We will help Master Ruto. There's no one better than us. Morgan approached Irie, tilting his head. What is it, Lady Irie? She turned to MC, a playful glint in her eye. You should give them better names. MC frowned, irritation creeping in. Stop offending them. Just then, Colorin the bat flew up to MC. By the way, Master Ruto, one of the bats found the bandits' lair. Irie's expression shifted to concern. Master Ruto, did you let them go on purpose? MC shook his head. No, I was exposed. It's unlikely they're all bandits. The bat urged them, "Follow me." Meanwhile, in the cave, the robbers were hastily packing their belongings. Nick, shoving items into a bag, shouted, "Quickly, pack our things and leave. If the vampire finds us, he'll finish us all off." One of the robbers nodded, adding, "We should take everything valuable and run." Suddenly, a familiar voice echoed from the entrance. "Weren't you waiting?" MC stood there, holding Eerie in his arms, a confident smirk on his face. "Don't worry, I'm not here to drink your blood." One of the robbers, panic-stricken, brandished a spear and charged, screaming, "Damn it, let him die!" With a swift motion, MC waved his hand, his sharp claws slicing through the air. In an instant, the robber's head fell from his shoulders, landing with a thud on the cave floor. MC raised his blood-dripping hand, a chilling smile on his face. "So what's next?" The robbers pressed themselves against the cave wall, fear etched on their faces. Nick waved his hands frantically, pleading for mercy. "Stop. Spare our lives. We had no choice. If we don't rob people, we'll die of hunger." The other robbers chimed in, their voices trembling. "We don't like this either. Just take everything we have, but please, spare us." MC stamped his foot, his patience wearing thin. "Do you think you can buy your way out of this? I don't want to hear your lies. You didn't spare lives because you needed food." With a flick of his wrist, he cast a spell. Blood. The robbers looked bewildered as blood clots began to rise, swirling around them. "What's happening?" They screamed in terror as the clots absorbed them, drowning them in a crimson tide. Nick, now covered in blood, reached out to MC, panic in his eyes. "Damn it, the vampire hunters are coming for your soul." He collapsed to the ground, his body limp. Irie rushed to his side, examining him closely. "Necrosis," she murmured, then turned to MC, her voice sharp. "You're a cold-blooded demon." MC smiled, trying to lighten the mood. "Don't make a monster out of me." After the chaos subsided, they sat on the ground, rummaging through the bags of stolen wealth the robbers had hoarded. "I have feelings too, you know," MC said, glancing at Eerie. She looked apologetic. "I'm sorry, I was just joking so you wouldn't be offended." He shrugged, slinging a bag over his shoulder. "Okay, but are you embarrassed by what you saw?" Eerie held up a bag of treasure, her expression unfazed. "Not really. Everything is fine." They left the cave and continued on their way. Eerie broke the silence. "By the way, why did you talk to them like you were so important and powerful? You looked more like a vampire among them." MC replied, "I needed to intimidate them. It's time to return to the village." "What about Nick's warning?" she asked, concern creeping into her voice. "Nothing," he replied, though the thought lingered in his mind. As they walked, a crow perched on a nearby tree, watching them intently. When they passed, it took flight, soaring above the clouds. Irie noticed a familiar silhouette beneath the bird. She stretched out her hand, and the crow landed gracefully. "Did you find it?" she asked, her voice low. The girl frowned, observing the crow. "It doesn't look like the same vampire. What a pity." Her expression hardened as she prepared for an attack. "Vampires should not exist. I must exterminate them all." 3 days had passed since MC's arrival in the village, and the villagers had quickly begun planting potatoes. He ventured into the forest, determined to hunt for meat, while Irie busied herself cooking. To his surprise, she turned out to be quite skilled at it. Meanwhile, some villagers were cutting down trees nearby. One called out, "Mr. Vampire, can you help with this tree?" MC swung his hand effortlessly, felling the tree with ease. "Mr. Vampire is amazing," one villager exclaimed, while the foreman shouted, "Get to work, the tree he cut down is for you to carry." MC raised an eyebrow, surprised by their enthusiasm. Where did all this excitement come from? He observed the villagers working diligently since early morning, and out of the corner of his eye, he noticed a girl hiding behind a tree. "Someone's watching me," he thought. Mel peered from her hiding spot, her expression conflicted. Not long before, she had been kneeling before her mother, who had said, "Mel, the bandits might attack again. A vampire can protect us." "But this is wrong," Mel had protested, her small hand outstretched. "A vampire can't live in our village." Now, as she watched MC, doubt filled her mind. Mom and Dad are wrong. He's deceiving them all. Determined to expose the vampire, Mel slipped deeper into the forest, her heart racing as she heard the villagers thanking MC for his help. Meanwhile, the villagers were hard at work laying down boards for their new homes. One villager remarked, Usually, we're attacked by monsters when we try to cut down the forest. MC smiled, revealing his fangs. You don't need to thank me, he said playfully. Stop showing your fangs, one villager retorted, a hint of nervousness in his voice. Mel, watching from a distance, saw MC standing with his arms crossed, a confident figure beside the villagers. He must have scared her, she thought, determination rising within her. I have to save them. Digging into her bag, she pulled out a piece of dried meat, heavily infused with garlic. This should do the trick, she thought, steeling herself as she approached MC. What is it? Did you want something? He asked, noticing her hesitation. Embarrassed, Mel closed her eyes and handed him the dried meat. Try it, she urged, her voice barely above a whisper. He accepted the meat with a grateful smile. Thank you. As he bit into the piece, he exclaimed, Delicious! Mel's eyes widened in shock. What? Garlic was supposed to weaken him. He's an even bigger monster than I thought. Panic surged through her as she clutched her skirt. This is bad. I need to run before he realizes what I was trying to do. With a hasty goodbye, she dashed away, leaving MC looking after her in confusion. Oh well, he muttered, bemused by her sudden departure. Once she was a safe distance away, Mel paused to catch her breath, her mind racing. What should I do? Garlic didn't work at all. Apparently, it won't be that easy. She shook her head, refusing to give up. The next day, the villagers continued their construction efforts. One of them called out, Mr. Vampire, as he carried logs on his shoulder. We're making good progress. He lowered the logs to the ground, and another villager chimed in, The foundation is looking solid, but we still need to reinforce it. Meanwhile, Mel was hiding behind a house, her eyes fixed on MC. He opened a blood vessel, pouring the crimson liquid onto the foundation. Mel gasped. Is he really throwing his blood around? MC began to cast a spell, hardening the blood as it soaked into the soil. The villagers watched in awe. Look, the soil has become solid, one exclaimed. The foundation is ready, another added, excitement in their voices. That's amazing, a third villager said, marveling at the transformation. Pleased with himself, MC stretched out his hand. I can even make walls out of this. However, he noticed several villagers huddled together, whispering anxiously. What's going on? He asked, turning to them. One villager hesitated before responding. It's nothing. Ari stepped forward, concern etched on her face. Mr. Ruto, they're scared of the house made of blood. It's frightening. MC raised an eyebrow in surprise. What? One villager raised a hand to their mouth, clearly unsettled. If you were human, you wouldn't want to live in a house made of blood either. I'll live in this house, MC declared, unapologetic. Sorry for butting in and ruining everything, one villager said, trying to ease the tension. It's no big deal, another reassured him. Meanwhile, Mel peeked around the corner of the house, her heart racing. Damn vampire, he wants them to live in houses made of blood. But I'm here. It's dangerous, but I'll challenge him. Clutching garlic and a silver fork, she steeled herself. I'll shove garlic in his mouth and then stab him with this fork. With determination, she walked toward him. MC turned, crouching down beside her. Another gift? He asked, extending his hand. Mel hesitated, but handed him the garlic, her heart pounding. To her astonishment, he began to eat the garlic without hesitation. What? He's gonna eat it just like that? Suddenly, his body began to glow, and Mel's eyes widened in fear. He's angry, he's going to kill me. In a panic, she plunged the fork into his back, her resolve wavering as she braced for the consequences. Mel closed one eye, her voice trembling as she asked, Does it hurt? MC gently picked her up, concern etched on his face. Are you okay? He asked, noticing a bee buzzing nearby. I thought it might sting you. Surprised, Mel exclaimed. Are you mad? He smiled, moving his hand away. What do I have to be mad about? You just wanted to protect everyone from me, right? Her eyes filled with tears as she began to cry, wiping her cheeks with her hands. I'm sorry, she sobbed. MC held her close, walking down the street. I'll take you home so you can show me the way. Okay, she replied, her voice still shaky. When they reached her house, MC waved goodbye, a warm smile on his face. See you later. Mel waved back, her heart lightening. You're a good vampire, she thought, momentarily forgetting her earlier fears. As MC strolled down the street, he felt a sense of pride. That went great. I acted like a real big brother. Villagers passed by, glancing at him with curiosity. One man nudged another, saying, Look, The other nodded and they both turned to stare. MC wondered in surprise, "What's going on? Why is everyone looking at me?" Instead of fear, he sensed admiration. "It seems I'm gaining popularity," he mused, a smile creeping onto his face. "Maybe coexistence between humans and vampires is just around the corner." Later, he returned to the construction site, stretching his arms overhead. "All right, let's continue building the house." After a while, Eri approached, holding a blanket. "Welcome back," she said cheerfully. "Why do you have such a sly smile?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. "Finish the house and then let's go to bed," she added, a teasing lilt in her voice. MC was taken aback. "Do you have your own house?" Eri shook her head. "I'll still be next to you. I'm too lazy to go home all the time." He blinked, surprised. "I don't understand you at all." "By the way," she continued, her tone shifting, "something's bothering me." "What are you talking about?" MC asked, curious. Eri pointed at his back. "You have a fork stuck in you. Does it hurt?" Turning around, MC spotted the fork and realized, is that why the villagers reacted like that? Anger flared within him as he yanked the fork out. "Damn fork, I'll find its owner and return it." Eri extended her hand. "Give it to me. It'll be good for meat." MC stared at her incredulously, holding the fork. "You want to use the fork that was stuck in my back for meat? Have you gone crazy?" Meanwhile, Mel remembered the fork and shouted, "Fork!" Having been in the village for 2 weeks, MC had settled into a full-fledged house, yet he lay in bed, contemplating his situation. "I'm sleeping in a coffin," he thought, a wry smile on his face. "By the way, I haven't drunk blood in a long time. I probably should." Suddenly, the lid of his coffin opened roughly, and Eri exclaimed, "It's morning! Get up, I'm bored!" He looked at her, exasperated. "You won't even let me lie down?" "I'm used to it now," she replied, a playful grin on her face. "This is not an excuse at all," he muttered, rolling his eyes. Just then, the elder rushed through the village, shouting, "Trouble! Tax collectors are heading this way." MC groaned. "I don't have a second to rest." "What do you mean, tax collectors?" he asked. Curiosity piqued, the elder stopped beside him, panting. "They're coming to collect taxes for this year." MC nodded, determination in his eyes. "I'll have to figure this out. First, I want to see them and make sure they don't talk about me." The elder agreed, leading the way. Eri turned to MC, puzzled. "Why would you want to hide?" "If this village really belongs to the Lord, I want to check something," he replied, recalling the robber's words. "They traded this village, that us, and the elder's words suggest the Lord ignored their requests." MC added, "Although the evidence is still circumstantial, I'd like to know for sure." Eri nodded, intrigued. He snapped his fingers and transformed into a bat, flapping his wings with glee. "I love this ability." She watched in astonishment as he flew to the window. "Open the window," he called out. Eri complied, repeating his words in disbelief. "You really love this ability?" As he soared outside, MC spotted the elder in heated discussion with the tax collectors. "We simply cannot give 80% of the harvest," the elder insisted. "Even if we give 60%, we won't be able to survive." Flying above them, MC overheard the elder's words and thought, "Right, that's too much. The basic tax is usually no more than 50%. Suddenly, the head of the tax collectors shouted, "Shut up, we can take it by force." MC's heart raced. "So the Lord has decided to take everything. Without me, this village will be plundered." He swooped down, transforming back into his vampire form. "Stop," he commanded, his voice booming. The chief tax collector stared in disbelief. "Who are you?" "The new ruler of this village," MC declared, his presence commanding. The other tax collectors exchanged wary glances. "His fangs! Is he a vampire?" one whispered, while another added, "But the sun is shining." MC continued, "So you will not collect taxes." The chief tax collector stepped forward, pointing a finger at him. "Is he kidding? Kill him." "No jokes here," MC replied, his tone serious. "It looks like we won't be able to negotiate." He closed his eyes, a look of regret crossing his face. What a pity. In an instant, he transformed into a massive dragon, his scales glinting in the sunlight. "Leave this village," he roared. The tax collectors fled in terror, the chief shouting, "He'll kill us all!" As they ran, the villagers and the elder approached MC, gratitude shining in their eyes. "Thank you," the elder exclaimed. "You've protected us." MC smiled, feeling a sense of pride. "By the way, I'll only take 30% of the tax." The villagers gasped. 30%? That's so little. Even the best lords take 40%. But, MC added, his expression turning serious, you'll have to pay taxes in blood. Fear rippled through the crowd, and they backed away. Oh well, he said nonchalantly. You should go. After a moment, Eri looked at him in surprise as he pulled out a vial and cast a spell to shape the blood within. I'll use this syringe to take blood, he explained, demonstrating the device. He took Eri's hand, collecting a full syringe of blood from her. I'll take this much from everyone once a week. Just give me the blood instead of the harvest, and I will protect you. The elder turned to Eri, concern etched on his face. Is she okay? Eri raised her hand, reassuring him. I'm fine. One villager spoke up. If that's all it takes? Another nodded in agreement. MC held the syringe of blood, closing his eyes in satisfaction. A blood tax looks good. It will also promote the idea of coexistence. Suddenly, a girl rushed up to him, shouting, Free the civilians, vampire! MC spread his arms wide, trying to calm her. Please, I haven't harmed anyone in this village. But she was undeterred, insisting, I can see right through you. I'll finish you off before you can do any more harm. With a fierce cry, she swung her sword, aiming for his chest. The blade struck him with all her might, but he remained standing, unfazed. What? Why didn't it work? She gasped, astonished. This sword is enchanted with holy magic, MC explained, placing a hand on the wound. Holy magic wouldn't work on me. That was a powerful blow. An ordinary vampire would have been dead by now. She lowered her sword, disbelief etched on her face. This can't be. How could you withstand it? With determination, she began to chant. Holy Sun, dispel the great darkness, and let the gods' tears of joy flow to protect the lives of their followers. A brilliant stream of light erupted from her hands, directed straight at MC. He instinctively shielded his face, shouting, What? This is holy magic, she declared triumphantly. Even the highest-ranking vampire would not be able to stand against it. As the light bore down on him, MC braced himself, ready to confront the power of holy magic. Meanwhile, MC crossed his arms, standing firm as the light from the holy magic enveloped him. Arisa looked at him, surprise etched on her face. Why aren't you affected? Before she could finish her thought, she collapsed to the floor, unconscious. MC held an open book in his hands, reading aloud. Holy magic is capable of taking away life force. It is used in vampire hunting. What kind of book is that? Arisa had wanted to ask everything, but her voice was lost in the moment. He closed the book, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. This is the diary of the previous owner. It contains many useful things. As he prepared for the fulfillment of his wish, Arisa's earlier determination sparked a thought in his mind. Did you prepare in advance? She had asked. Exactly, he replied, a hint of satisfaction in his voice. He glanced at the girl lying on the ground, considering her fierce desire to protect humans. Maybe she could play a key role in the coexistence of humans and vampires, he mused. After a moment, Arisa stirred, waking up with a start. Vampire, she shouted, scrambling to her feet, ready for battle. Where's my sword? MC held her silver sword in his hands, raising an eyebrow. This one? Her eyes narrowed in anger. How can you hold a silver sword? Who are you? He introduced himself, his tone calm. I'm a vampire, but I'm different from the ones you usually encounter. And you are? My name is MC, and you? Arisa, she replied, her stance still defensive. Are you from the Vampire Hunter Guild? He asked, curiosity piqued. She nodded, her expression resolute. MC's mind raced. The Vampire Hunter Guild? There's a lot written about them in the diary. An organization mired in corruption, justifying their crimes by hunting vampires, burning villages, and robbing ordinary people. Arisa thrust her hand forward, declaring, I'm here to save innocent people. MC thought. She has a strong sense of justice. Okay, that's fine, he said, trying to ease the tension. Would you consider staying in our village? Arisa looked taken aback by the offer. I'm the local ruler, he continued, and I want to achieve peaceful coexistence with the people. I don't want any evil vampire hunters coming here. You seem experienced. I'd like you to tell the other hunters that you're aiming for my head and that they have no business here. Of course, if you decide I'm evil, you can kill me. He returned her sword, and she took it, her expression still fierce. I'll stay in this village, but not to befriend you. I'm here to protect the villagers. When the time comes, I will cut off your head. She pointed at Eri. Is there a free house in the village? Eri nodded. Yes, my house is free. The rent is 1 gold piece per day. Arisa was surprised by the price. MC chuckled. Don't be greedy. Eri isn't using her house anyway. It's a normal price. Eri shrugged. It can't be helped. Follow me.